I'm Malcolm McCauley, physical therapist here in Duluth, Minnesota, talking tips and tricks for using bodyweight support, particularly LightSpeed Lift, to improve your walking and running, giving you more enjoyment and fewer chances of injury. Last week we had a chance to talk about how reducing the impact could change the body mechanics. In other words, the stresses. We tended to drop the hip less, tended to drop the knee in, the ankle looked better, just by taking that 10% off, improved gait mechanics. Well, I was reading an article this week by Napier and Willy in the October issue of International Federation of Sports Physical Therapy. And they really go through this causal relationship between running injuries and the amount of load that people put on over time. And it's not just a linear relationship. They found that if you increase the loading through something like uphill running, speed running, where the load has gone up substantially, you increase the chance of an injury to the tissue by 50%. So going up by 10% in the intensity caused a 50% increase in the chance of getting an injury. So what do? You have to drop down either the intensity or you have to drop down your training volume. And coaches really need to keep that in mind. And I think most good coaches do keep that in mind, playing with those two parameters. What using bodyweight support allows you to do then is, because it takes 10% off of that peak ground reaction force, in other words, how hard you hit the ground, how much force is transmitted up into your body, and the rate at which that force is transmitted up into the bones, the tendons, the ligaments, the muscles. Since that's attenuated by 10%, I don't get as much load and I have a less of a chance of injury. That means that I can add speed, work on that motor program that's involved with running fast. I don't get that unless I get to practice running fast. So if I can do that while putting 10, 15% less force load into the body, then I can keep my training volume almost the same. You probably have to drop it off a little bit. Conversely, if I want to do that speed work outside, which I think you need to do, I can still keep my volume up as I'm working through the week by using one or two of my training runs on the light speed where that cumulative force is reduced by 10%. So working those two parameters allows you as an athlete, you as a coach, to optimize your training volume. I think one of the best apps or applications I've seen with this is what Doug Adams has put together on his Run DNA app, and I encourage you to go check that out. He puts together a nice little chart comparing how much time you're really running at a given RPE. So if you're running at 3 RPE for 60 minutes, that's 180 points. If I'm running at 7 RPE for 60 minutes, that's 420 points. And he has some formula that takes you through. But it's the best I have seen of actually objectively tracking that training intensity. What we've found that runners going on LightSpeed Lift with that 10% reduction can increase their speed while still keeping their RPE at a much lower level. And that gives you a phenomenal tool to add into your training techniques. And this has actually been used at a high level, national championship level, by one particular coach working with her star athlete. That athlete now does 90 to 95% of her training using LightSpeed bodyweight support. And with that, the coach is able to manipulate the speed component and the volume component, or the volume component and the speed component, to optimize this athlete's production and get her so that she recently set a high school national record. So remember to like this video, follow us, and send us your comments. And we'll be back next week with me, Malcolm McCauley, physical therapist, speaking about bodyweight support training with LightSpeed Lift.